Police!
Please don't shoot me! Please don't shoot me!
I'm not gonna shoot you, ma'am.
I just came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room and she's still alive and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
What happened to you? Where are you bleeding from?
I'm not bleeding.
Okay, well, how do you have blood all over you?
Do I?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know why I do.
I'm right here. Can you see me?
No.
Can you see anything?
No.
No?
No.
Okay.
It was the cold dawn of January 7th, 2018, when a panicked call shattered the quiet at the local police station. A man's voice, tense with fear, described a horrifying scene. His neighbor, Audrey Butler, had stumbled upon a grisly discovery at her home. She returned to find the back door kicked in and bloody footprints in the snow leading away from the house. Inside, two roommates lay, one tragically dead and the other barely clinging to life.
911, what's the address of your emergency?
I live at the next door neighbor. She just came over and said somebody shot her roommate.
Okay. Did it just happen?
Yeah, she said it just happened. She needs an ambulance in her place. So the roommate Ashley is the one that's still alive.
She is still alive?
She said she is, yeah.
Okay, tell her to take a deep breath, okay? I'm going to ask you some questions. Is Ashley bleeding seriously?
Was she bleeding seriously? Yes, she said yes.
Okay. All right. Do we know if Ashley's completely alert?
No, I don't believe so. I mean, she just saw it and she just ran.
Okay.
When police arrived, they were met by Audrey, visibly shaken and struggling to recount the nightmare she had walked into moments earlier. She explained that she rushed to check on her roommates, Lauren and Ashley, upon finding the broken back door.
I came in and I saw that my back door had been broken in, so I went to the back and I could see footsteps in the snow, so I ran up to my room to see if my roommate was okay. I have two roommates.
Okay.
One of them's dead, and the other one is in her room and she's still alive and she needs help, but I ran because I didn't know if he was still in the house.
Okay, so you don't know if there's somebody else in the house?
I don't think so, but I don't know.
Okay. All right.
Lauren looks like she's been in a while, but Ashley's asked me for help and I ran.
Okay, is this door open?
Yes.
So we have two people upstairs, is that what you're telling me? Okay.
Help, Ashley.
Anybody inside, come out!
Going this way. Bye.
I got stairwell.
Police!
How many people are inside? We're making entry. How many people?
Upstairs, the police found a chilling scene. Lauren, lifeless in a pool of blood.
She's cold to touch.
Okay. Livid. Okay. All right, let's back out.
And Ashley, miraculously alive but critically injured. The officer's priority was clear: save Ashley and determine if the killer was still in the house. They crept through the rooms, weapons drawn, prepared for anything. Amid the carnage, they found Ashley, disoriented and covered in blood. As they tried to get answers, she seemed barely conscious of what had happened. "Who shot you?" asked one officer, desperation in his voice. Ashley looked at them with unfocused eyes, saying only, "I don't know."
Police!
Please don't shoot me!
Who shot you?
No, please don't shoot me!
I'm not gonna shoot you, ma'am.
My name's Ashley!
Ashley, what's going on? Who shot you?
Nobody!
Oh, what happened?
I don't know! Please come here!
Who did?
I am the police!
I'm the police, right here.
Where are you?
I'm right here. Can you see me?
Where are you?
I'm right here.
Where?
Her injuries left her unable to provide the clarity they desperately sought. Paramedics rushed Ashley to the hospital, and as detectives worked the scene, they discovered over a dozen shell casings scattered across the bedrooms, all from a .22 caliber firearm. Outside, detectives noticed something crucial: clear, bloody footprints trailing away from the house. Carefully preserved in the snow, these impressions were about to lead them down a dark, twisted path they could never have anticipated. As Ashley recovered, the police urgently sought answers. She had been shot in the back of the head, her carotid artery, her right arm, and had multiple broken ribs. Yet she survived. This astonishing feat gave detectives hope that she could remember something, anything, about the horror she endured. But when they gently asked her about the night of the attack, she only recalled fragments from the night before, A memory of going out with her boyfriend Ralph was all she could manage.
To you.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we're gonna have some questions, but mostly we just want to hear what you have to say.
Okay.
Just starting out,
Yes.
and I know this is kind of a tough question, but can you tell me, do you remember anything at all?
When I got shot?
Mm-hmm.
No.
No.
I remember waking up in the hospital. I don't really remember actually waking up in the hospital. I remember kind of doing the I love you sign to my brother when I was, obviously laying in the hospital bed. But no, I do not remember being shot at all. Or however many times they shot me. I think they got me in the shoulder, and I think in the elbow too. Obviously the head.
Well, yeah, you're a lucky gal, but everything that I've heard so far is, you're a fighter.
It's a miracle I'm alive. I thank God every day. This would have been before I got shot, obviously. The day before I got shot. We went to a place in Livingston. It was a hotel.
And you said Ralph drove you home?
Yes, he did.
Can you tell me, do you remember anything from the drive home?
I don't remember a whole lot, no. Maybe if you ask me a more specific question, I might be able to answer. I don't know.
Do you remember any conversations that you guys were having?
Not really specifically, no.
Going from when Ralph dropped you off, what's the last thing you remember that night?
Really, the last thing I remember is I gave him a kiss goodnight and in the car, and he was like, okay, I'll watch you go and get inside, and I was like, of course you will. So then I went inside, I shut the door, obviously. And really from there on, I don't remember too much.
With her boyfriend Ralph was all she could manage. Ralph, the last person to see her before the shooting, quickly became a person of interest. When detectives questioned him, Ralph admitted he had dropped her off after an evening out, but insisted he had nothing to do with the attack.
So Ralph, I'm a detective with the sheriff's office, and I did some of the processing of the scene at the house. Mm-hmm. And so I have some information and I have some questions about stuff that I saw there.
Mm-hmm. Understood.
So tell me, when did you guys start dating?
Roughly December last year, so a year and change ago.
Okay. Just
over a year.
Okay. And how do you characterize your relationship with her right now?
We've been attempting to break up with each other for several weeks, and pretty much this week we decided together that it was the right thing to do is to not date each other anymore.
When was the last time you actually had contact with her?
With Ashley?
Yeah.
Last night when I dropped her off.
And that was after the Livingston trip?
After the Livingston trip, right around. We decided it was before 9 o'clock.
What time did you go to bed last night?
Pretty much, I'm going to say, look at my phone, that's how I would do everything, but I said goodnight to Ashley and I was up for a little while longer, maybe an hour.
So you're thinking around 11 o'clock when you went to bed?
Thinking so.
Did you go anywhere after?
No, I stayed.
Did you attempt to kill Ashley?
No.
Did you attempt to kill her roommate?
No.
Have you been in that house last night?
No. Do you believe me? Why not? You gotta ask.
Would you be willing to let us dump your phone to retrieve your GPS locations, that kind of stuff off of your phone?
Yep.
His demeanor was calm, cooperative even, and he volunteered his phone and location data, which proved he hadn't returned to the house that night. With Ralph eliminated as a suspect, the detectives had to start from scratch. Their next focus turned to Lauren, the victim. Lauren had recently separated from her husband, Joseph DeWise, due to escalating abuse. Friends and family described a disturbing pattern. Lauren often appeared with bruises, cuts, and signs of violent encounters, moving in with Audria and Ashley to start a new life. For detectives, this history of abuse pointed to Joseph as a prime suspect. Joseph was questioned immediately. He seemed calm, claiming he hadn't seen Lauren recently and had spent the night with his son Joe.
So, the reason that I wanted to talk to you is there was some issues that happened over at Lauren's house this morning. and I just kind of wanted to touch base with you to see if you were over there at all, if kind of where you were this morning, that kind of thing. Well, someone broke into the back door of her place, and so we're trying to get all of the stuff together, and from what I understand, you guys were separated and working on a divorce.
Okay.
And that's kind of where we're at.
Sure, right?
Well, not really. She isn't. Well, the person that came in ended up shooting her. So
she's dead?
Yeah. So.
Oh my God.
So that's why we're talking to you, because you guys are going through a divorce, and from what I understand, and we need to kind of figure out what's going on.
And so, absolutely anything that you can tell us that might give us a little clarity.
This is news to me. I don't know anything about it.
Complete news, complete surprise.
They told me when they picked me up they're investigating a homicide. I did not think there's some weird stuff's been happening since I've been in Bozeman. So I'm like, geez,
Yeah.
Well, let me just say right off the bat, I understand Lauren, regardless of your relational issues. I understand.
I love her.
Lauren's very important to you.
I love her.
And I'm so sorry that you're going through this right now.
However, Joseph's reputation told a different story. Known for his temper, he had a history of threatening Lauren, and the detectives grew uneasy as they listened to his weak denial. "I loved her," he insisted, but it felt hollow against the mountain of evidence pointing to his violent tendencies. Detectives quickly followed up with Joseph's son, Joe, to verify the alibi. Joe confirmed he had been with his father the night of the attack, even describing a late-night beer run with Joseph. Surveillance footage from the store confirmed they were indeed there, but something felt off to the detectives. Was Joe hiding something? The conversation felt strained, as if he was carrying a burden he couldn't voice.
Just so you understand who I am. My name's Jeremy Kopp. I'm the detective sergeant for the sheriff's office. Okay? Obviously, you know what happened to Dad. Given that, then I need to be able to sit down and be able to talk to you. Right? How was your relationship with her?
We were close.
Yeah.
She was like my mom, but
okay.
She wasn't my mom. She was pretty much like my mom.
Now let's go to Saturday. And just walk me through Saturday.
Okay, for some. So Saturday, let's see, I got up around like maybe 12-ish, around 12.
Why'd you go?
I just go with him, just because.
Yeah. Excuse me. I mean, do you hang with your dad quite a bit? Yeah. You were just pretty tight.
Yeah. So we just.
Fair enough to say.
Just what we do. Yeah.
So just you and Dad then on the beer run? Mm-hmm. Okay. So you don't recall hearing any doors or anything open when you go to bed?
Great. Everything's quiet.
Okay. So it's important that you and I, as we kind of work through the details, that we're completely truthful with each other.
Right.
Okay. That's pretty important.
Right.
What do you think happened?
She was in her home sleeping, and as I know from what my dad told me, the body
It could have been drugs or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah.
As far as I know, it could be drugs.
Who do you think could do something like that? No guesses. Yeah.
And it couldn't be my dad. He's always...
Without concrete evidence, detectives couldn't detain Joseph any longer. As a precaution, they seized his phone, hoping it would reveal inconsistencies. Then, a critical breakthrough came from the crime lab. The bloody footprints leading away from the crime scene included two distinct sets, one large and one smaller. The smaller print caught their attention, seeming consistent with a younger individual, possibly Joe. This revelation forced detectives to take a second look at the father-son duo. Could Joe have been coerced into aiding his father in Lauren's murder? With this new suspicion, they called Joe back in for questioning, now more certain than ever that he held the key to the case. This time, the interrogation room's tone shifted from harsh questioning to empathy. Detectives wanted Joe to feel safe enough to open up. They explained that they understood how terrifying his father could be, especially given Joseph's history of violence.
So yesterday, you and I kind of talked about the timeline and what everybody had done on Saturday, and we talked about that kind of in detail going into Sunday morning, the 7th, right? Okay. So, let's start with this. That's pretty accurate to what you told me yesterday. Which is unfortunate, because I don't think that's actually what happened. And I was hoping that today you and I could break through that and we could talk about what actually happened. Because if I can't get you to be honest with me, I can't help you. And I don't believe that you're being completely truthful with me. And I don't know exactly why, but I'm not willing to give up on you. I think that we can get through it. Okay? I know that this is really hard for you to sit here. I know it. I can see the weight on you. And the only way I can help is if you and I are honest with each other. I can't help. I can't do anything if you and I aren't honest with each other in here. Okay?
At first, Joe hesitated. His loyalty to his father, coupled with deep-seated fear, made him reluctant to betray the man who had controlled him for years. But as detectives continued to speak kindly, assuring him they could protect him and his sisters, Joe finally broke. He began to cry, the weight of the secret he'd been harboring crashing down on him. In a low, trembling voice, Joe whispered the truth.
Was it just your dad?
Come on, son.
You told me to go to bed? And then what did he tell you?
I didn't think. What you do, Dad? It's bad.
You knew what he was going to do.
My dad was stopped. Like, no, Dad, you can't do that. You're gonna lose you. You can't do that. You didn't tell me. Dad stopped him. I would have totally.
Was it you or him? Tell me. Listen. It was pain when he finally got to that point of releasing and he whispered the answer the first time. Just being with him in that moment. Because it was hard.
Joyce. I was afraid of my sisters.
I know you were.
I didn't have a choice. I had to.
And then how far did you go back? How far did you go in the house? Could you see the stairs? Could you see the stairs? Yeah. Could you hear him?
Yes.
What'd you hear?
What the hell is wrong with you? He said, come.
Father, please.
That night, his father had forced him to accompany him to Lauren's house. He described how they'd driven to Idaho Street under the cover of darkness. Joseph had ordered him to leave his phone at home, leaving no digital trace of their journey. When they arrived, Joseph handed Joe gloves and a mask, instructing him to follow without question. Joe was petrified, but he obeyed, fearing the consequences if he didn't. They approached the back door, where Joseph used brute force to break it open. Inside, Joe followed closely as Joseph climbed the stairs and opened the first bedroom door, where Ashley lay sleeping. Without hesitation, Joseph raised his pistol and fired multiple shots. In the dim light, Joe saw Ashley stir, but his father paid no mind. Moving to the next room, Joseph opened the door, and Joe heard Lauren gasp. Before he could process what was happening, Joseph had fired again. They fled the scene, returning to their car and driving to a nearby gas station. Joseph bought a six-pack of beer, acting as though nothing had happened. Once home, he threatened Joe, forcing him to memorize a story. They had been at home all night, watching television. Terrified and overwhelmed, Joe obeyed, keeping his father's secret until that moment in the interrogation room when he couldn't bear the guilt any longer. With Joe's confession, the detectives finally had the truth. But Joseph's depravity ran even deeper than anticipated. Further investigation into his phone revealed chilling messages he'd sent Lauren in the weeks leading up to her death, threatening her with violence. Audio recordings found on his device painted a disturbing picture of a man consumed by anger and a need for control.
You've always told me that. That's what I'm talking about. I'm trying to express myself now. But you...
lying piece of
Are you serious?
what I'm doing. I'm so tired of holding up this innocent fake. Tell me
I've nothing.
I've done everything for you. I've given up everything for you. And the only thing you ever cry about is you. That's it. You know what? I'm gonna. That's what's gonna happen.
The messages revealed an escalation, each word laced with venom as he promised to kill her if she tried to escape his grasp. The trial that followed was swift yet profoundly emotional. Friends, family, and officers testified to Joseph's cruelty and the terror he had inflicted on those closest to him. Joe bravely recounted the events of that horrifying night, the courtroom silent as he described the fear that gripped him, the helplessness he felt as he was forced into his father's violent scheme.
I was afraid. I didn't know what was going to happen. I was really going to feel bad feeling. Before we left the house, he told me to put my phone on my bed. It was very odd. He opened to the first door in the hallway. Then what happened? He had his pistol in his right hand. He opened the door with his left and stepped just into the room past the threshold. And he turned on the light, and someone was in the room.
Ashley, miraculously recovered, also took the stand. Her injuries had healed, but the trauma lingered, evident in her quiet, measured words, as she relived the night she nearly lost her life.
I was shot in the back of the head. I was shot in the right carotid artery. And I know that I was shot on the right side as well.
What's the next day that you can remember after going to bed?
This is no, and this is yes.
Joseph took the stand as well, defiantly claiming his innocence. He tried to dismiss the evidence as circumstantial, accusing the detectives of framing him.
I have been in jail for 22 months waiting for an opportunity to explain to a jury that I'm innocent. I never threatened my wife in any way like that. I'm not that kind of a person. I respected and I loved her strength and her individuality. There's a lot of circumstantial evidence out there, all right? But you know what? If a lot of you took a real good look at your life and you thought about things that you did and then something bad happened, you could be in the same boat I'm in. The state wants to put so much pressure on me that I would just crack and take the blame for it so that I could get out of the horrible situation I was in. I have been falsely accused here. I didn't do it, and I don't deserve to go to prison. And what you've done is wrong, okay? That is the truth.
His final appeal for pity fell on deaf ears. The jury saw through his attempt to manipulate them, just as he had manipulated his family for years. The weight of the evidence and testimony was overwhelming, and after a brief deliberation, the jury returned with a unanimous verdict: guilty.
Joseph DeWise, count one, to the charge of deliberate homicide of Lauren DeWise, guilty.
Guilty. Sentenced to 220 years without the possibility of parole, Joseph would spend the rest of his life in prison.
Parole. You know, I think in any other case, you would be absolutely ecstatic and gratified, and this is the moment we've been looking for. Given the circumstances of this case, it was absolutely horrifying and heartbreaking. It's tragic, and that any father would ever subject his son to that, it makes you angry, and probably something that I'll never forget.
His conviction brought a sense of justice, but for those left behind, healing would take time. Ashley found solace in her faith, drawing strength from her survival. In a poignant statement after the trial, she shared, "I still ask why it had to happen, why I had to get shot. But I've learned that it's not my job to figure out the whys. I just trust that no matter what, God was with me that night, and He's with me now."
Of course, I had questions of, well, why did it have to happen to me as well? Like, why did I have to get shot? But I've learned through the process that it's not my responsibility to figure out all of the whys. It's my responsibility to just trust in God, that no matter what happens, He is still by my side, and I will still prevail through anything. There's one of my favorite lines now that I really go by is, "What the enemy meant for evil, God will turn for good."
For Joe, the journey to recovery was long and painful. The trauma of that night haunted him, and the guilt of his coerced involvement weighed heavily. But with therapy and support, he began to process the nightmare his father had forced upon him, hoping one day to find peace. In the end, the story of the Snow Footprint murder remains a haunting reminder of the depths of human cruelty and the resilience of those who survive it. The lives of those touched by Joseph's violence will never be the same, but from the horror, a sense of justice and renewal has emerged. As we close this harrowing chapter, let's take a moment to honor the resilience and courage of those who survived this nightmare. Ashley, who fought to reclaim her life after coming face to face with death. Joe, who bravely exposed the truth, freeing himself from his father's control. And Audria, whose discovery forever changed her. Their lives are forever marked by the cruelty they endured, but they also remind us of the strength that can rise even from the darkest places. Here at Crime Tales, we share these stories to reveal the reality of crime and the resilience of those who survive. These tales are not just about the tragedies, but about the courage of victims and their journey to healing. If this story moved you, please share it to honor their strength and to remind others of the light that can emerge, even in the midst of darkness. Don't forget to subscribe to Crime Tales for more stories that delve deep into the shadows to reveal the truth. Thank you for watching. And until next time, remember to stay safe, stay vigilant, and keep searching for justice alongside us.